St. Cecilia Alwar Girls Siaya, B. Moi Girls Vokoli, C. Chavakali, D. Bunyore Girls, E. Chianda, F. Kisumu Girls, G. Bishop Okoth Girls Mbaga, H. St. Mary's Yala, and I. Maseno. 6. Honorable Speaker, reports of the Auditor General of Financial Statements for the year ended 30th June 2024 and certificates therein in respect of the following technical training institutes: Thika, Rift Valley, Ol Lesos, Bushiangala, Ngeria, Kisiwa, and PC Kinyanjui. 7. Reports of the Auditor General of Financial Statements for the year ended 30th June 2024 on National Government Constituencies Development Fund and certificates there in respect of the following constituencies: A. Nyeri Town, and B. Lagdera. 8. Reports of the Auditor General of Financial Statements for the year ended 30th June 2024 and certificates therein in respect of Metkei Girls Secondary School, B. Moi Kapsowar Girls School, C. The Hill School Girls Eldoret, D. St. Martin Kathonzueni School, F. Kastikeo Boys High School, G. Cardinal Otunga High School Mosocho, H. Asumbi Girls High School, I. Moi Nyabohanse Girls High School, J. Nyabururu Girls National High School, K. Kisii High School, L. Kanga High School, M. St. Joseph Nyabigena Boys High School, M. Voi Boys High School, or
Mare Girls High School, P. St. Mary's High School Lushangonyi, Q. Isiolo Boys High School, R. Njoro Girls High School, S. St. Stephen's Luanya Girls Secondary School, T. Moyale Boys Secondary School, and U. Bishop Sulumeti Telelemuk Girls High School. 9. Annual report of the Auditor General and Financial Statements of Kenya Civil Aviation Authorities for the year ended 30th June 2024 and certificates therein. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, special audit on capitation and infrastructure grants in schools across the country from the Office of the Attorney General to be referred to the Public Accounts Committee. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay.
Chairperson, Budget and Appropriations Committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House to date, Wednesday, 18th June 2025, report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on its consideration of the Equalization Fund Appropriation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 21 of 2025. Thank you.
Chairperson, Mediation Committee on Division of Revenue. Come back to that. The report is not ready. Next.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable members, let's go to, there's a supplementary order paper we are expecting. Clerk, is it here yet? A few minutes. Okay, let's go to statements. Ivo Barra, are you taking the response on behalf of Jared?
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Chair, Internal Security and Administration, Tongoyo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I hope I'm responding to a statement being sought by Jared regards the death of Ojwang.
Yes. Go ahead and take into account that this is a matter that is very active in court. And if you say anything that is likely to prejudice the court process, I will stop you.
well-guided speaker. I know, of course, the issue of sub judice.
Go ahead.
And I'm well-guided.
Yes.
So, and it's true, Honorable Speaker, we know this is also a matter of a lot of public interest. Honorable Speaker, the Member of Parliament, Honorable Gerard Okello, did sort a statement on the floor of this House under the circumstances that led to the death of Albert Ojwang. And in particular, he wanted to know, report on the circumstances that led to the death of Alfred Ojwang while in police custody at Central Police Station, including the legal basis for his arrest and the reason for his placement in solitary confinement. 2, the justification of the transfer from Homa Bay to Nairobi County, and also the current status of investigation by the IPOA on the immediate administrative and disciplinary action that has been taken against officers who apprehend and transferred the deceased to Nairobi. And Honorable Speaker, you remember, besides, of course, this statement, Honorable Speaker, the committee took interrogation. They interrogated the IPOA and the IG also on the same matter. And I want to read the minister's response and give a little bit also the highlight arising from the members' interrogation of the IG and IPOA to include the latest update status report from IPOA. Honorable Speaker, I respond as follows. The Member of Parliament, this is the response from the Minister. The Member of Parliament for Nyando constituency, Gerard Okello, had sought the said statement, and I respond as follows. We are deeply concerned by the circumstances surrounding the death of Mr. Albert Ojwang while in police custody at Central Police Station. Indeed, the loss of life in custody raises serious questions on procedural conduct, oversight, and the protection of the constitutional rights by the National Police Service. According to the information made public by Inspector General of Police, Mr. Douglas Kancha, the late Mr. Ojwang was arrested following a complaint launched by Mr. Elliot Lagat, the DIG of KPS, in relation to remarks made by Ojwang on his social media account, Pixel account to be specific. X account goes by that name. Despite the nature of allegation, it is important to emphasize that all arrest persons are entitled to the right enshrined under Article 49 of our Constitution. This including the right to be informed promptly of the reason for arrest, access to legal counsel, and to be brought before the court of law within the 24 days. In light of the above, the decision to place Mr. Ojwang in solitary cell and whether it was consistent with the legal and procedural provision remain a matter under active investigation. The preliminary autopsy has provided initial insight into the cause of his tragic death. However, the committee awaits the conclusion of IPOA to determine any lapses, misconduct, and violation of Mr. Ojwang's right while in custody. I'll reiterate our commitment to pushing for transparency, accountability, and protection of all Kenyans from abuse while in custody of state. In regards to the second question, Honorable Speaker, in regards to the transfer of Mr. Ojwang from Homa Bay to Nairobi by the DCI, DCI was informed that the transfer was necessitated by the nature of alleged offense, which was cybercrime. We understand that such offenses may have an element that transcend geographical boundaries, but it is imperative that such transfers must still comply with the principle of lawful procedure. Under the Criminal Conduct Code, Cap 75, matters relating to the jurisdiction is determined by the place the offense is alleged to have occurred or where its consequences are felt. Again, in our understanding, in cases where it is uncertain in which jurisdiction the offense occurred, the law permits proceedings to be instituted in any such jurisdiction. However, even in such cases, the rights of accused persons be strictly upheld as they are entitled to humane and lawful condition of detention. Therefore, the committee underscores the importance of ensuring that Operational decisions such as transfer of accused do not override constitutional protection. The legality of Ojwang transfer and whether it met both procedural and human rights standards remain a critical component of ongoing investigation. On the third question, Honorable Speaker, the case is already under active investigation by POA and other relevant agencies. From public statements, we are also informed that the authority has made notable progress, including the recording of statements from several police officers, among them the OCS Central Police Station and junior officers who were on duty at the time of the incidents. And the post-mortem examination has already been conducted, and the preliminary finding revealed blunt force injuries to the head, bleeding in the brain, soft tissue injuries on various parts of the body, and sign of compression on the neck. The National Police Service, through the IG, has pledged full cooperation with IPOA. Similarly, my ministry is available to provide any necessary support to facilitate speedy and conclusive determination of this matter. Being a matter of significant public interest and national concern, we are hopeful that the process will be expeditious, impartial, and transparent, especially in light of the commitment made by the relevant authorities. And the last part, Honorable Speaker, the Inspector General of Police has interdicted 6 officers pending outcome of ongoing investigation, and these officers include Officer Commanding Central Police Station, Samson Talam, Duty Officer Samuel Nganga, Corporal Charles Muruki, and Police Constable Debian Lusweti, and Peter Kimani and Evelyn Kanyiri. We are of the view that this step is necessary and appropriate measures to ensure accountability, to preserve the integrity of the investigation, the process the same, and will also serve an important reminder that misconduct and negligence within the National Police Service will not tolerate. And Honorable Speaker, maybe it's also worth to add to this that, of course, also the DIG KPS had stepped aside the public domain. Finally, Honorable Speaker, I wish to give the highest assurance and commitment that we shall pursue this matter to its conclusive end for justice to Mr. Albert Ojwang and for the respect of law, rule of law in this country. And I submit, Honorable Speaker, signed by Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, the Secretary Cabinet for Interior and National Administration.
Eve Obara. Yes.
I will kindly, because this was a little bit, a lot has taken place, to give a bit summary from the IPOA, the latest, actually, as today. Honorable Speaker, in summary, as of today, or actually this letter was signed yesterday when I was coming into the House, and I have the update report. And Honorable Speaker, there's some noise here from the member. Soy.
Order, Honorable DK.
This guy is from. So, Honorable Speaker, I have a letter, the status update report from Ahmed Isaac Hassan, the chair of IPOA, outlining that so far they have done 8 arrests. They have arrested James Mukwana, and is in Milimani Law Court, and is detained for 21 days at Capitol Hill Police Station. I'm saying James Mukwana. Sorry? Corporal. And the ruling to be delivered on the June the 20th. Next mission will be on the June 20th. It's good to know that. The second is Samson Talam, the OCS, also in Milimani Law Court, and they're detained for 21 days. Pending investigation, and the ruling also to be delivered on the June 18th. The other one is, of course, also the deputy OCS, which is known as Nganga, and Kimani, which was also a duty officer. Also among the rest, Honorable Speaker, is 3 civilians. And these civilians are people who are alleged actually to have even committed the heinous act. Those are the convicts who are in the cells. And these are Gin Amunitwa, Collins Karani, Kelvin Mutisia Mutava, and Brian Mwaniki Njue. And they are all detained for 21 days at Mudagari and Kileleshwa Police Station, and they're detained for 14 days. Among the 8, Honorable Speaker, is also one person who is the technician who is alleged to have interfered with the CCTV. And he has been also arrested. And I think, Honorable Speaker, because the report, of course, is very detailed, and I'll also mention the number of officers who have been interdicted, and majority of them also are those who have been arrested. Honorable Speaker, yes, sir. I don't want to go into the chronology of event, but it's also good just to note that in the report that I will table in the House, give more details on the chronology of event, starting from when the DIG made the complaint, both to EACC and DCI, as a result of the alleged false accusation by the deceased on his Pixen X account. So, Honorable Speaker, and we had also, of course, interrogated the IG and IPOA, and as a committee, and the report is here, but the majority are more similar to what had already the CS had given brief, and what even IPOA had reported. And, Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me appreciate that little effort has been made and there is progress on the case. But, Mr. Speaker, on the specific questions that were asked, I'm yet to be satisfied. Mr. Speaker, what was asked was why, the first one was, why was Albert transferred from Homa Bay to Nairobi? Was this legal? Mr. Speaker, this has not been clearly answered. In line with Article 49 of our Constitution, it's required that the arrested person be held near the place of arrest unless there are exceptional circumstances, and none were disclosed. The second one that I'm not satisfied with was, what was asked was what specific online post led to his arrest. Mr. Speaker, up to this point, we do not know the specific online post. The other one was, the question was Albert's detention documented at the Central Police Station? Mr. Speaker, the response clearly should have stated that it was not. At least acknowledge that there were gaps in the manner in which his case was handled. They always say that the truth will set us free. So I would appreciate if the minister in charge or the cabinet secretary in charge acknowledge some of the shortfalls or the shortcomings on the manner in which the case was handled. And when you say the truth, even the people concerned, as much as they have lost their relative, will be satisfied that it was the investigation was transparent and the truth has been unveiled. And this has not been the case. And finally, Mr. Speaker, on the injuries that we had asked, can the ministry explain the visible injuries, including the bruises and the swellings, reported by the family and observers? The ministry or the minister only refers to the existence of postmortem without addressing the injury findings. Mr. Speaker, I would be happy if this matter is handled exhaustively. I am not fully satisfied, and this is the message. Mr. Speaker, this is something that has painted Kenya in a bad light. Mr. Speaker, yes, we make mistakes, but when you acknowledge, then we can get over some of these things and even now start talking about the reforms on what we should do as a country. I'm not looking at an individual, I'm looking at the image of the country. Mr. Speaker, what we saw yesterday, immediately after this Mr. Ojwang's case, what we saw in the streets yesterday, somebody brazenly shooting at a human being, Mr. Speaker. It means that it has not sunk. Even what we've been talking about and the country's outcry has not been received well by the police force. Because if that was done, Mr. Speaker, they would not have done what we saw or instructions given out to them on how to handle demonstrators would have been different. That police officer has painted us in a bad light, and action, I believe, has been taken and he has been arrested. But for Ojwang, let us go the full haul, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, Mukunji. Tongoyo, you can take note.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I also want to say the statement is quite insufficient. Honorable Speaker, from a far look, this looks like there's a lot of conspiracy around that case. And Honorable Speaker, I am appealing to the committee to go beyond IPOA statement. There is a need, Honorable Speaker, for this National Assembly to go beyond the issue of getting a report from IPOA and actually form a commission of inquiry to know exactly what transpired, that is supposed to be independent, that involves also everybody that is being mentioned. Honorable Speaker, there has been mentioned two gentlemen that come from my constituency. And Honorable Speaker, those young gentlemen who are actually cousins had been arrested because of a road issue, a traffic matter. They were released. And then when they went for their vehicle, Honorable Speaker, they were rearrested and taken in custody, and they are being forced to write statement. Honorable Speaker, I beg for this National Assembly to take the issue of police misuse and misconduct very seriously. Let us try as much as possible to correct the image so that, Honorable Speaker, as my sister has said, we have to ensure the credibility of our nation is beyond reproach.
Thank you. Otienda Molo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the response as read is grossly inadequate. But it is because of our system that we cannot expect our own colleague to give us sufficient answers, because he can only rely on answers that has been given to him. Mr. Speaker, the issue of Ojwang demonstrates monumental impunity and disregard to the Constitution and the law, to an extent that, as seen together with what happened yesterday, it demonstrates total anarchy and a danger of sliding to be a banana republic if we are not already there. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I would suggest that to ask our colleague to bring better answers is to give him a task beyond him, because he will not get better answers. He is relying on the same police who told us that this was an issue of suicide. There is no way they can give us any better answers. Mr. Speaker, I would suggest that if ever there was a case where we should consider constituting an ad hoc committee, because Ojwang's death demonstrates what happens every day, except it does not come to the limelight. I would suggest that, Mr. Speaker, you consider constituting an ad hoc committee to look into what actually happened, and also to look into what happens to other persons in similar circumstances, so that the police can be brought to order within the Constitution and the law. Mr. Speaker, there are so many gaps in that responses. Number one, for starters, we have been failed by IPOA. IPOA cannot, as the person investigating police conduct, attend a press conference where the police are explaining their own conduct. You cannot do that. IPOA cannot come and tell us that they have arrested people and they are prosecuting people for murder when the central suspect has not written a statement to date. How do you determine then who should be taken to court if you've not interviewed Eliud Lagat up to now? IPOA has failed us and we must call them to order. The other failure, Mr. Speaker, is in response to what now happened, the public outcry. I read the statement of 16th June 2025 by the DIG Eliud Lagat, where he says he has voluntarily stepped aside. Mr. Speaker, there is nothing like stepping aside in law. I invite, Mr. Speaker, that we look at the National Police Service Act, we look at Section 17, we look at Section 95A. Under Section 17, the President can remove the DIG, can retire the DIG, or can redeploy the DIG. None of those can be done by the DIG themselves. Under Section 95A, the disciplinary process can only be done by a disciplinary committee of the National Police Service Commission. You cannot discipline yourself by saying you've stepped aside. What does that mean in law? Mr. Speaker, I want to suggest that this whole issue is a charade. If you look back to the questions that were asked, before you are arrested, you are supposed to be told why you are being arrested under Article 49. This was not an arrest, this was an abduction. And to use the word arrest, as has been used by chairman, is wrong. And if it was an arrest, you are supposed to be taken to the nearest police station. Why would you be taken 600 kilometers? And when you are taken to the station, then the OB is not recorded. At what point then are you told of the reason for your arrest? And then you are put in situations where you are clearly have been set up to be killed. Mr. Speaker, I think we owe it to this country. Given what happened to Ojwang, given what happened to those who are demonstrating at what happened to Ojwang, to the extent that the same police are now escorting goons, we are in danger of sliding to a total banana republic. And if the executive cannot bring us back on course, it behoves this House to do so. Mr. Speaker, I suggest we establish an ad hoc committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Tongoyo. Honorable members, from what I have heard and from what the chair of the committee read to us, first, Honorable Otieno Amolo, you can only set up a committee through a motion. There's no motion before me. But more importantly, I direct that the Minister for Internal Security appears before this House on Wednesday afternoon so that those with questions, and the questions so far raised by Ivo Bara, Otieno Amolo, and Mukunji be availed to him via Hansard so that he can be able to be interrogated by the House on matters touching on the death of Albert Ojwang, taking into account the ongoing court case and the sub judice rule, so that we can have this House lend its strong voice on matters that we disapprove of, on the conduct of officers who are supposed to protect wananchi. So, Majority Leader Owen Baya, Wednesday at 3:30, the Minister for Internal Security to appear before this House. Is so directed. Yes, Tongoyo?
Honorable Speaker, I think on that one, I don't want to... Just one question, Honorable Speaker, that has come out clearly. As much as we all regret as a country, it was really a very unfortunate event, even to include what happened yesterday. Of course, we saw in the videos going around of a police officer shooting an armed, innocent Kenyan who was walking, doing his hustle. which even inquired. We are lucky he's still recuperating in the hospital, although they say he was used a rubber bullet. Honorable Speaker, I think it's just good to appreciate that IPOA had really done a good job, because in speed 5 days, okay, it's me talking.
Order.
It's me talking. Honorable Speaker, as much as we invite the the minister, you know what we wanted from the Internal Affairs Unit is full cooperation. And when we're interrogating, Honorable Speaker, IPOA themselves confirmed to us that the IG and his team were really in full cooperation.
Honorable Tongoyo.
Yes.
You can advise the minister to come with IPOA alongside him.
Yes. Better that way.
If he wishes to do so.
Okay.
Because under our structure of government, he gives policy direction to many of those institutions under him.
So I would suggest then you recommend that IPOA also join the CS.
It is up to him to decide who to come with.
Okay.
Yes.
Well guided.
Yes, I don't want to escalate this. I've already given direction. What's your point of order, Millie?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I do appreciate that you don't want to escalate this, and because you have actually requested the CS to come.
I've not requested, I've directed.
Directed, thank
Yes.
you. You have directed, and I'm glad that you have corrected me one of a few times when I'm happy when I'm directed. That is directed. Let him be here. And the reason is because the issue of security actually resides in this house. And I know and I want to commend the committee because they've done a very good job. But the house, the entire house needs to be seized of this matter because it's our primary mandate to oversight the security. But Mr. Speaker, even as the CS is coming, there are other issues that are arising that we would want him to deal with. Number one, only 2 days ago, Mr. Nditi died in a police post in my constituency, allegedly by suicide. Mr. Speaker, again in, I think, Nyando or somewhere, somebody else died allegedly by suicide in a police post.
You know what you should do, Honorable Millie? File additional questions on the issues you are raising. And any other member who has similar issues, file questions so that we pass them on to the minister as he prepares to appear here on Wednesday and be at hand to interrogate him on all these issues so that he can be able to not only satisfy the House but the country on the situation surrounding Albert Ojwang, the Onditi you are talking about, the shooting in town yesterday, and any other matters within your knowledge that requires the minister to be brought to his attention and to answer fully to the House. Yes, Millie?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand guided, and I will be doing that. Mr. Speaker, yesterday when I was speaking here, I was informed that the person who was shot yesterday, who unfortunately I'm told has died, I don't know if he has died, the one we are saying was shot by, is not dead. Or I'm happy to hear it's not dead, and I hope. Yes, that's just what I wanted to say, even though I still am appalled and I'm not happy by the way the police operated. It doesn't matter where he came from. Of course, it hits me more if it comes from Suba, because I was told yesterday it's from Homa Bay and Suba in particular. But I wish to tell the Suba people that he was not from Suba. We are still not happy that he was shot, but it's not from
Members of the National Assembly. You are members of the National Assembly of Kenya. It matters not where a Kenyan comes from. The pain of a Kenyan in Mandera, in Busia, in Homa Bay, in Kwale is the pain to all of you. And that is as it should be. Let's go on to the next matter. Go back to messages. That matter, hold your horses to Wednesday. Go back to messages. Robert Mbui, you will speak on Wednesday. The minister will be here.
Order number 3.
We are not in competition. You are a house, discharge your duties.
Order number 3, messages.
Honorable Mbui, I know you have said that to me elsewhere, and I agree with you. It is, you and I were shot at when we were together. My car was smashed. Honorable members, be here, Robert, on Wednesday. I'll give you ample time to reflect even on your broken and healed leg. Honorable members, I have a message from the Senate on approval of the fourth basis for allocation of the share of national revenue among county governments. Honorable members, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41.4 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I wish to report to the House that I have received a message from the Senate regarding the approval of the fourth basis for revenue allocation among county governments in accordance with Article 2173 of the Constitution. Honorable members, the message conveys that on Thursday, 12th June 2025, the Senate considered and approved the fourth basis for allocation among the counties, the share of national revenue that is annually allocated to the county level of government. This consists of the baseline allocation ratio and the formula for distribution for the financial years 2025-26, 2029-30. For clarity, honorable members, the baseline allocation ratio refers to the shareable revenue allocated to the counties in the financial year 2024-2025. The formula contains parameters and the various respective thresholds to be considered in determining the criteria for horizontal distribution of the shareable revenue among 47 county governments. The parameters include the basic equal share, population, poverty, and land area. Honorable members, as you are aware and no doubt appreciate, the basis for revenue sharing among county governments is a very critical element in facilitating the seamless execution of the devolved functions of our county governments. Notably, the formula has implications on the division of revenue bill and the county allocation of revenue bill for the financial year 2025-26. In this regard, it ought to be concluded expeditiously and before the conclusion of these two bills. Honorable members, as contemplated under Article 217 of the Constitution, the National Assembly may consider the Senate's resolution and vote to approve it with or without amendments or reject it in toto. It is worth noting that the decision of the National Assembly to amend or to reject the Senate's resolution on the formula requires the support of at least 2/3 of the members of the National Assembly, being not less than 233. So any one of you wants to amend, you must garner 233 members to support your proposal. Any one of you wants it rejected, you must also do so. Honorable members, in order for the House to commence consideration of the resolution of the Senate on the fourth basis for revenue allocation among county governments, are directed as follows. 1, that the message from the Senate together with the accompanying fourth basis for revenue allocation formula is hereby committed to the Budget and Appropriations Committee for expedited consideration. 2, that cognizant of the urgency of the matter, the committee is expected to consider the formula and submit a report to the House on Tuesday, 24th June 2025. 3, that the House Business Committee shall place the Senate resolution on the formula in the order paper of Tuesday, 24th June 2025 for consideration by the House. And 4, that the clerk is hereby directed to circulate the message containing the formula to all members and publish it on the parliamentary website. The House is accordingly guided. Honorable members, allow me to acknowledge in the Speaker's Gallery, State House Girls, Dagoretti North Constituency, Nairobi, which was the next one? Reorder. Okay. Honorable members, we have also in the public gallery, Tasia Bright Star School from Embakasi East, Nairobi. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, I welcome the students, their teachers, and those accompanying them to the House of Parliament. Honorable members, you must have now received the supplementary order paper. It is in circulation already. If you check your system, you'll find it. We have done a response to question 1. I'll stay the remaining 4 questions until we finish the business that I will rearrange. For now, we go back to notices of motion, and I call the chair budget. Had you laid your paper? Okay, go to papers, order number 5. Lay your paper.
Order number 5, papers.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Wednesday, 18th June 2025. Report of the Mediation Committee on the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2025.
Call out order number 6.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chair, budget.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that pursuant to the provisions of Article 113 sub 2 of the Constitution and the Standing Order 150 sub 3, this House adopts the report of the Mediation Committee on the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2025, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 18 June 2025, and approves the mediated version of the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable members, Otienda Mola and Murugara, you had some point of order. You approached the chair to allow you. I give you 1 minute. And Murugara, 1 minute.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are aware that the chair of the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee presented a report on the public participation on the NGCDF constitutional amendment bill. We are also aware, Mr. Speaker, that having read the bill for the first reading, we had to wait for the mandatory period as prescribed to elapse. Mr. Speaker, by my count, that period elapsed about 3 days ago. And by law, we should be on the clear to move to the second and third reading so that we can handle fully the question and issue of the constitutional amendment to the Constitution entrenching the NGCDF. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to seek your direction on the next step so that all members would be clear, because I'm sure most members would want to participate in the second reading, and certainly most members would want to be present during voting. And Mr. Speaker, given the schedules of members, unless this is made clear, we might have a situation where some members do not participate. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to get your indulgence and directions on this, including the possibility of having a discussion, an informal discussion, given that the time usually allocated, not all members may say what they need to say or be briefed. The possibility of having a kamukunji prior to such dates as the Speaker might direct. Mr. Speaker, I ask your guidance on this one. Thank you.
Murugara, 1 minute. Give him the mic.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Maybe the supplementary order paper has not yet reached Senior Counsel, Honorable Otiende Amolo. Actually, the matter is listed for debate today, but as he has pleaded, it's valid that these members are informed what this bill entails, what is in the report, and that we are able to internalize this and discuss it and debate it in a manner that is most honorable. But that is not my point of order. Mr. Speaker, sir, I've been accused of being a trade unionist by these members. It is not right, but I don't refuse. I do not refuse that tag, because we actually came to your office the other day last week to inquire about a very important and sensitive matter to these members, the RMLF, which is the roads money. You gave us a very good response, and we expected it to go the way you actually responded. Yes. But just about yesterday, we only got 6 million out of it from what had been disbursed. Yes. Maybe, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would equally join Honorable Tiende Amolo that if it pleases you and you wish to convene us in a Kamukunji, then you also speak to us about the roads money, because the constituents are agitated, the roads are not in good shape, but most importantly, most of us have committed this money to do the rural roads, which we are supposed to do. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Order. Order, Tongoyo. Take your seat. Order, Bensouda. Take your seat. Take the nearest seat. Order, honorable members. Order, members. First, allow me to acknowledge the good work that is constantly done by a caucus of lawyers in the House, who from time to time are called upon to discharge pro bono services to the House in matters, legal, court processes, and so on and so forth. This morning I had a meeting with the caucus members, not all of them, some didn't show up, perhaps because of inadequate communication, and they raised the issues that the two members have raised. I will direct as follows. Number one, the matter appearing at order number 13 on the supplementary order paper, the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025, be stepped down to next week for the simple reason that constitutional amendment bills are very delicate to the extent that once you move it, you debate, you vote for it as it is or reject it as it is. You are not allowed to bring any amendments on the floor. That's why we gave you time, adequate time, to debate this matter informally in a pre-publication form. And the Hansard shows that at least about 80% of members of this House spoke to it. But that notwithstanding, memories fail, people change their minds, people forget things, and so on. I have acceded to the request that on Tuesday at 9 a.m. on the content of this important bill that seeks to entrench GAF funds, NGCDF, and Senate Oversight Fund into the Constitution, so that when we start the debate in second and subsequent third reading, we know that we have no opportunity or capacity to amend. On the issue of RMLF, I'm sure your officers must have advised you that some sums of money have been disbursed, and there is a process of re-engineering the disbursement of additional funds. I will then appraise you as well, and I've instructed the chairman of Roads, GK, member Fondia, to get in touch with the office of the clerk and the majority leader to appraise themselves on the developments on RMLF. But more importantly, again, I want you to acknowledge the caucus because the court did direct that Section 6 of the Roads Act is unconstitutional to the extent that counties are excluded. For us to correct the situation, the caucus, under my direction and guidance, are working overnight to come up with a draft bill to cure that anomaly that the court has pointed out, which will then be processed in the shortest time possible, including public participation and so on, so that within a month or two, we should have an amended bill that meets the constitutional expectations that have been directed. So once again, the caucus, on behalf of the House, we salute you for your not only offer of your time and brain, but the sacrifice you are making to make this House function better. Thank you. As you know, the caucus is co-chaired by the Honorable Otienda Amolo and Chepkonga. Chepkonga is out of the country, but we salute them for their leadership. Honorable members will then reorganize the business of the day. The remainder of the questions to be responded to will come after the committee of the whole. So we'll skip order number 8, order number 9, and order number 10, and go to the committee of the whole. And in the committee of the whole, the majority leader has requested that we step down the order on value-added tax amendment bill, which will come next week, so that we deal with the finance bill and the National Council of Population and Development bill. Equally important, honorable members, as you know the requirement under the law and the Constitution, I have approved requests for amendments from the chairman of the committee, from the majority leader, and from the honorable member for Navaholo, Emmanuel Wangwe, which will be prosecuted in the committee. Honorable members, I'll now direct the clerk to call out order number. Yes. Leader of majority party, there are some urgent documents for you to lay on the table before we go to the next order. Can you do so quickly? Call out order number 5.
Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Wednesday, June 18th, 2025, in the afternoon sitting. The supplementary estimates number 3 for the financial year 2024-2025, and the following accompanying documents from the National Treasury. 1.
Order members. Kagombe.
1. Financial year 2024-2025 supplementary estimates number 3, program-based budget. 2. Financial year 2024-2025 supplementary estimates number 3, recurrent estimates. 3. Financial year 2024-2025 supplementary estimates number 3, development estimates. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, at 5, memorandum on financial year 2024-2025 supplementary estimates number 3. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable Wenbaya. Honorable members, allow me to acknowledge in the public gallery Kambara Secondary School from Madhioya, Muranga. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome the students and their teachers and those accompanying them to the House of Parliament. Call out order number 11.
Order number 11, Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable members, will you be upstanding?
Order, honorable members, order. Will we take our seats? Order. All members, will we take our seats? The committee, the House is now the committee of the whole House for the Finance Bill, National Assembly Bill number 19 of 2025. Order. Order. The Honorable Soro et al. Order. Could you take your seats? Honorable Chair, Finance Committee, are you ready? The Honorable Soro, allow the Chair of Finance Committee to do his job. The Honorable Soro, take your seat. The Honorable Soro. The Honorable Soro, what have you just done? So members, let's proceed. Honorable Chair of Finance, I hope you're ready.
Provisions relating to the Income Tax Act, Cap 470, Clause 2.
The members, I propose a question that Clause 2 be part of the bill. Chair, you've got an amendment.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I beg to move that the amendment on Clause 2 be as per the order paper. This is a discussion we had yesterday on the definition of royalty. So the amendment is to delete the definition of the term royalty as proposed in the bill. Additionally, the amendment is to delete the definition of winnings and substituting that with withdraw. I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, members. I propose a question that Clause 2 be amended as proposed by the Chair. I now propose a question that Clause 2 be amended as proposed by the Chair. Will ask men of that opinion say aye? Will ask men of that opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question on all members that Clause 2 as amended be part of the bill. Will ask men of that opinion say aye? Will ask men of that opinion say nay? The ayes have it. There was an amendment almost on the same terms like what we just passed by the majority leader, and I direct that the amendment by the majority leader then falls because this committee amendment has been carried. Next.
Clauses 3 and 4.
Members, I propose a question that clauses 3 and 4 be part of the bill. Because there's an amendment, I now put the question that clauses 3 and 4 be part of the bill. Will as men of the opinion say aye? Will as men of the opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 5.
Members, I propose a question that Clause 5 be part of the bill. The Chair of Committee, you got an amendment.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that Clause 5 be amended as per the order paper. This amendment is seeking to remove sale of scrap as income subject to tax under Section 10 of the Income Tax Act. Additionally, this amendment is seeking to include withdrawals made by punters as taxable income under Section 10 of the Income Tax Act.
Thank you. All members, I propose a question that Clause 5 be amended as proposed by the Chair of the Finance Committee. If there's no interest on that, I now put the question, members, that Clause 5 be amended as proposed. Will as men of that opinion say aye? Will as men of that opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Members, I now put the question that Clause 5 as amended be part of the bill. Will as men of that opinion say aye? Will as men of that opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 6.
Members, I propose a question that Clause 6 be part of the bill.
Honorable Chair, you have an amendment to this?
So, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 6 is amended as per the order paper. This amendment is seeking to require the Cabinet Secretary to make regulations regarding significant economic presence within 6 months. Honorable Chair, as you may recall, last December we did pass the amendment on significant economic presence tax. However, despite us passing this bill in this House, almost 6 months later, there has not been regulations that have been passed on the same. So this amendment is therefore requiring the Commissioner and by extension the Cabinet Secretary to gazette, to publish regulations to effect the significant economic presence tax as per contained in the tax laws.
The significant presence. Members, I propose a question that clause 6 be amended as proposed. I now put the question, therefore, that clause 6 be amended as proposed. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? Ayes have it. Members, I now put the question that clause 6 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 7.
Members, clause 7 has no amendment. I propose the question that clause 7 be part of the bill. I now put the question, therefore, that clause 7 be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? Ayes have it.
Clause 8.
Members, I propose a question that clause 8 be part of the bill. Chairperson, got an amendment to this clause?
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 8 be amended as per the order paper. This amendment, the amendment is seeking to clarify that both the investment in our stadia and investment in sporting activities will both be deductible for tax for those in the private sector that invest in these two activities. I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Honorable members, I propose a question that clause 8 be amended as proposed by the Chair. It's about sports facilities being tax deduct. I propose the question, all members, that clause 8 be amended as proposed. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, members, that clause 8 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 9 and 10.
All members, I propose a question that clauses 9 and 10 be part of the bill. Because there have no amendments, all members, I now put the question that clauses 9 and 10 be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 11.
Members, I propose a question that clause 11 be part of the bill. Move of your amendment, Chair.
Honorable Chair, clause 11 refers to an amendment on country-by-country reporting that requires companies, whether it's surrogate or subsidiary or parent company, and this amendment is seeking now to require the submission of the country-by-country report, since it is the same, to be provided, and it's provided in subsection 2, that it be in the same section. I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
All members, I propose a question that clause 11 be amended as proposed by the Chair. I put the question that clause 11 be amended as proposed by the Chair. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, members, that clause 11 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 12.
Members, I propose the question that clause 12 be part of the bill. Remember, your chairman, you got amendment to this.
Yes, Honorable Chair, clause 12 regards to advance pricing agreement, where you're saying where the taxpayer in an issue with the advance price agreement has provided false information, then that advance price agreement will be declared to be void. Additionally, Honorable Chair, this particular amendment is seeking to provide for timeline in which the Commissioner General, by extension, the Cabinet Secretary will provide regulations on the enactment of this particular clause 12 in terms of timelines, giving them 6 months to gazette regulations on the enactment of these advance price agreements. I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. It's an advanced pricing. Members, I propose the question that clause 12 be amended as proposed by the Chair. Honorable Bawunda, 1 minute.
Chair, as much as the amendment to subsection 5, subclause 5, is timely and important, I think the cabinet secretaries must also act in good faith, knowing the importance and urgency of some of these, the need to operationalize laws. We do not have to put for them specific timelines. It should naturally flow. Probably with the neatness, probably could even do that in the Social Instrument Act, so that all the cabinet secretaries know that within a certain period of time, once a law is in place, we must do this. Because otherwise, within 6 months, it's going to appear in all the laws of this country. All the laws are going to be known as within 6 months. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, the Honorable Makali Mulu.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to, in an earlier clause, the chairman reported that regulations were supposed to be done in 6 months and they were not done. I don't know whether really we have been, in terms of the time frame, is this realistic? Because I don't think really we need to put time and then they cannot implement. I think we need to get assurance that at the end of the day, Mr. Chairman, that then when we say 6 months, we get regulations in 6 months or whatever needs to be done. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Yes, Honorable Chair, this particular amendment has been necessitated by, again, the experience, for example, with significant economic presence tax, where the ministry requires us to make particular amendments to the law, but then they take all their time to issue regulations. And therefore, we are requiring them to have a timeline in which they must issue those particular regulations. And I think this is, even if it might be monotonous to repeat them in all our respective laws, but it's important, where we require the executive to act on their part, to give them timelines in which they are supposed to act, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Oh, members, I now put the question that clause 12 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, members, that clause 12 was amended, be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the court of opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 13 and 14.
All members have proposed a question that clauses 13 and 14 be part of the bill. And because there's no amendment to them, I now put the question that clauses 13 and 14 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the court of opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 15.
All members have proposed a question that clause 15 be part of the bill. Member, you have, Honorable Chair, you got an amendment to this.
So, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 15 be amended as the order paper. This amendment to provide that the Commissioner should respond to an application for change of accounting year within 3 months and not 6 months in order to remove inefficiencies. Honorable Chair, again, as I explained in the previous 2 clauses, we are trying to make sure that the Commissioner is also responsible for timelines. So where, for example, that a taxpayer has applied for changing their financial year, we are reducing their time from the time in which they are supposed to respond from 6 months to 3 months. And Honorable Chair, what you're going to see consistent in the entire amendments that you're doing, where the Commissioner does not respond, then we are saying that that particular application by the taxpayer shall be deemed to have been accepted, so that we also give leeway to the taxpayer and not just power to the Commissioner, so that we also make sure that our tax system is not just fair, but it's also transparent and equitable, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Members, I now propose the question that clause 15 be amended as proposed by the chair. I now put the question that clause 15 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the opinion say nay? The ayes have it. All members, I now put the question that clause 15 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 16.
All members, I propose the question that clause 16 be part of the bill. With amendments by the chairperson of the committee and the leader of majority. Chairperson.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 16 be amended as per the order paper. This, Honorable Chair, is amending section 35(1)A, which currently exempts only specific commissions paid by resident air operators to non-resident agents for ticket sales. This broad scope leads to taxation of essential foreign expertise, even when such services are complete and available locally. Additionally, this particular amendment is provided for taxation of withdrawals rather than winning in the case of betting. I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Members, I propose a question that clause 16 be amended as proposed by the chair. I then put the question that clause 16 be amended as proposed by the chair? Will the abstaining of that opinion say aye? Will the abstaining of the opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, members, that clause 16 as amended be part of the bill. Will the abstaining of that opinion say aye? Will the abstaining of the opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 17.
Honourable members, I propose a question that clause 17 be part of the bill. Chair, you got an amendment to this? But before you go to that, the Leader of Majority's amendment to clause 16 then falls because we carried the committee's amendment. So clause 17, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. Honourable Chair, I beg to move that clause 17 be amended as per the order paper. As you remember, Honourable Chair, the amendments we did on the Tax Procedures Act in December and the Tax Amendment Act in December brought various taxable deductions for pay as you earn. So where we said we deduct the taxable allowances before we calculate for pay as you earn. However, Honourable Chair, we have taxpayers have reported to us during public participation that we have quite a number of employers who are not allowing those expenses as tax allowable. And therefore, they are leaving now the employed, especially the employed Kenyans, to now claim that when they are filing their income tax at the end of the year. So therefore, this amendment is seeking to compel the taxpayer to allow for tax deduction those tax allowable expenses for pay as you earn. I beg to move, Honourable Chair.
Oh, members, I propose a question that clause 17 be amended as proposed by the chair. Honourable Omboko.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. I want to support that amendment as the chair puts it, because that was a very vital law that we made as a Parliament, so that when we are taxing the employees on their payslip, we don't include those statutory elements and deductions. Because when you do so, it's double deduction. In fact, it was meant to leave some more money on the payslips of the workers. Chair, is that correct? And therefore, I want to support it because it is very, very progressive. Remember, one of the biggest challenge we are facing now by the workers of this country is that there are too many levies on their pay slips. And this was supposed to actually achieve a situation whereby they have some relief. Thank you, Honourable Chair.
Thank you. Honourable Wunda, 1 minute.
Quick one. It is possible, Chair, I support, 100% support the amendments as it was done before it's being carried here, but probably the failure to allow all deductions and relief could be out of ignorance, not knowing what was provided for. Not everybody is kept abreast with the changes in the law. Can I ask the chair that once the president assents to this bill and these changes, just run down all the allowed deductions, reliefs and everything, and probably do like the Mwananchi version, whichever you call it. Post it anywhere or circulate it. So both an employee in the village who has employed a petrol attendant in a village that sells only 10 liters a day will not bother to follow all these processes. Okay. Just do Mwananchi guide, so Kenyans can know. Even Mwalimu Mboko doesn't know all these things. He's now and is a teacher, a very renowned person.
Thank you.
But also these small things. Thank you, Honourable Chair.
Honourable Chair.
Honourable Chair, I would like to assure Professor Undo that Mwalimu Mheshimiwa Amboko is very conversant with these matters. He's on Speaker's panel, is one of the most keen members in this House to follow procedures in the House.
The comment made by the Honourable Member for Funyula is a fair comment. That if Omboko doesn't know, what do we expect about the guy down there?
I was coming to that, Honourable Chair. We have, Honourable Chair, and on a very and on a very serious, Honourable Chair, one of the consistent remarks we got when we moved across the 10 counties in this country, they were saying our lawmaking process is too technical, even for fairly educated Kenyans. And they were saying we need to have simpler versions of the bill, of the process, and even in our communication. And therefore, this is a call to us as a House, as Parliament, to communicate better in a simpler language, to the executive that implement these particular proposals, to Kenya Revenue Authority to simplify them in an easier way. Honourable Chair, sometimes I have watched adverts from our entities across all the arms of government, especially the executive, Honorable Chair, most of these communications are in English. So we need to have even versions of our bills and our laws in vernacular, so that that Kikuyu speaking speaker from Mukinyai in my village can understand, so that that Tholuo speaking Kenyan from Ukwala can understand what we mean, Honorable Speaker. So I agree with Honorable Oundo from Funyula that we need to simplify the way we communicate our legal making process, because sometimes, even for fairly educated and learned Kenyans, it becomes a bit too technical to understand. Honorable Chair, I've always said, sometimes even when we present these bills to Kenyans, sometimes the proposal is to delete a deletion. And therefore, even when they get to the bill, the proposal is to delete a deletion. So again, you have now to get to the Parent Act to see what was being deleted on a Chair. And I think we have an obligation to make sure we simplify our communication.
Well said. Thank you. The Honorable Mboko.
Honorable Chair, what that particular clause means is that once you allow the pay to be deducted on the gross, including the deductions, it means you are actually taxing the workers on money that will not go to them. Basically, that's the basis of it. I just wanted to correct that. I'm the master of this, and that's why I raised it. It's a very good amendment, and actually, the employers must now be compelled to do exactly that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, members, I put the question that clause 17 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the opinion say nay? Ayes have it. I now put the question, members, that clause 17 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the court of opinion say nay? Ayes have it.
Clauses 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25.
Members, I propose a question that clauses 18, clause 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25 be amended, be part of the bill. Members, those clauses have no amendments. I therefore put the question that clauses 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the opinion say nay? Ayes have it.
Clause 26.
Members, I propose a question that clause 26 be part of the bill. This is an amendment by the Honorable Chair.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 26 be amended as per the order paper. This amendment is to allow for investment allowance for a spectrum license by a telecommunication operator. Additionally, Honorable Chair, this amendment is to retain 100% investment allowance deduction for investment outside Nairobi and Mombasa. Honorable Chair, as I said yesterday, this investment allowance for spectrum license is going to ensure that we have more coverage of network across the country. It is really unfortunate, Honorable Chair, that in 2025, we still have some parts of this country that there's no power, there's no telephone connectivity. And
are you
therefore,
moving?
This particular amendment, Honorable Chair, is seeking
Order. Which one are you moving?
27.
Yeah, move 26 first.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yes. Sorry. Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 26 be amended as per the order paper. Honorable Chair, I want to thank sincerely.
More Radio, 88.2 FM. We are in charge.